What's up, guys? Welcome back to the MontyVerse. We just got out of Cocaine Bear, the newest movie from director Elizabeth Banks, and it was quite the experience. What do you say, Nikki?
I would say it was more of an experience.
Yeah, it's a vibe. Cocaine Bear is a vibe.
I don't even know if I'd go that far, if I'm being honest.
Well, let me start off by saying I don't think the movie was marketed properly. I think it was marketed more as like a meme, funny movie. But I think that what it really is it truly feels like an homage to like 80s horror movies, like 80s slasher movies in particular, or things of that nature. So if you're really into stuff like that, I think you're really going to enjoy this movie. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Nikki, so what are your preliminary thoughts? Well, we'll give a general review because this movie just came out. We won't give a spoiler review, so we'll just give our general thoughts on the film. Yeah,
I mean, kind of going off of what you were saying about the marketing is, I think what did a disservice is the fact that it almost felt like it was kind of following in the footsteps of Megan, Smile, like some of these other movies that like were a little bit of the meme variety, and y'all know how much we love memes. I
love meme movies.
And like obviously it's based off of a true story, which in real life is horrifying and sad. But in the movie, it's like that's kind of an amazingly absurd concept. And I don't think they ran with it into the absurdity as much as I would have liked.
It was like, I wanted an absurd movie. I think that I really like the point you brought up. You brought up Megan, Smile, and this. I've yet to see Smile, but we saw Mathregan, and we saw this. And I think we're entering a new era of marketing, that movies are able, like 2022 and now leading us into 2023, they've discovered a new niche, that the audience really wants, and that's like meme movies. So Mathregan, you really saw switch their advertising campaign to focus on the meme aspects of the film. Smile knocked it out of the park with their advertising and marketing. And this movie really focused on the cocaine aspect of Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, and I think and I wouldn't even say it's completely inaccurate to say it's a horror comedy. I don't think that's totally inaccurate. No. It's far more on the horror, and it's trying to be more of a comedy that I think it really leans into.
Yeah, I think that if we get we're getting a Mathregan 2, a Mathregan 2, and if we get a sequel to this, I think those two movies are really going to lean into the meme aspect of the premise.
Right.
And because I can't help but see them not doing that based off of how successful the marketing was.
Right.
And again, like Nikki said, we're not saying that this is a straight horror movie. This is definitely a horror comedy. But one of the things that I was disappointed with this film is there wasn't enough absurdity.
No.
I feel like a lot of the good stuff they showed us in the trailer already, which I was a little bummed out by.
Yeah.
But it's really brought back to quality by the performances from the cast, because I think the majority of this cast is so freaking good in this movie.
Yeah, like one of the highlights for sure is I don't think there's a bad performance in it, and they commit as much as I think the script allows them to. I think we both came away with the same favorite performance, I believe so.
I don't remember stating my favorite performance, so I don't know if this is going to be accurate.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say for me it's easily Jesse Tyler Ferguson. He plays I don't even know what his role technically is.
He's an animal
advocate,
right? He's I don't know. He's a guy. He's a vibe. He is a vibe.
Yeah, he looks at animals as friends.
Yeah,
let's just leave it at that.
He's an animal rights activist. He's a naturist. He enjoys the outdoors.
Yeah, it's an 80s movie, but he has a weird haircut.
Yeah. The
hippie-ish cut.
I have to say, the costume design in this is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
All of the 80s looks are great. I do like him. But I you know who I was surprisingly impressed by? Not that I don't like this person, but Alden Ehrenreich.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic.
Was fantastic. Not that I didn't expect him to be good, but I really ended up being endeared to his character throughout the film.
And I think it's because to be honest, his character probably has the most layers of anyone in this movie, and he has the largest gamut of emotion that he actually has to portray.
And he does such a great job of going big at times and then reeling it back in and going small in other moments.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate the, and I know we're talking about Cocaine Bear here, but I really appreciate the complexity in that performance that he brings in.
Mm-hmm.
I would be remiss to say if this movie didn't make me miss the shit out of Ray Liotta. He is so good at what he does, and he is in this movie being Ray Liotta, and I loved every second of screen time we had with him. He's fantastic, and he's a legend. R.I.P. Ray Liotta. But definitely a highlight. Keri Russell did the best she could with what she was given. She was.
Yeah.
I think that her story was, I don't want to say the weakest, but I was less invested in it.
I mean, to be fair, like in her case, she was like the most stock most of a stock character of everyone.
Cardboard cutout
and
character.
Not to say she was bad, like you said, she was as good as she could possibly been, but like there was only so much she could elevate with her role.
She did, but whenever she could, she did elevate it. Because Keri Russell is a freaking queen. I love Keri Russell. Want to see her in more things. Flipping Felicity over here. She was great. I want to see her in more things. So keep casting Keri Russell and stuff, everyone.
Yeah,
she's good. I don't know how to pronounce his name in real life. I know it starts with a Christopher Jor, but the guy who played Tormund from Game of Thrones is in this. He's hilarious. He's great. Really enjoyed him. Gotta give a shout out to I can't remember the guy's name. Let me pull it up. What was his
Bob
role? Oh, Isiah Whitlock Jr., actor. Fantastic character actor.
Yeah, he was good, and he had some more of the funnier moments. And, like, again, I don't think they were like, I was laughing out loud, but he did as much as he possibly could have.
I love the quirkiness. I love the quirkiness in the characters, and his Bob was very quirky, and he had certain quirks that I really liked. O'Shea Jackson Jr. is good. He's
always solid. Like, I'm glad that he's, like, because I first saw him, I think, in Ingrid Goes West, where he was fantastic in that. And he's great. He's totally solid in this.
Yeah. I really like when they let him... I feel like I could tell when he was improvising and he was doing his own thing, because he's so funny at times, but he has to play the straight man a little bit at times also.
That's just kind of his role across the board for the most part.
Yeah.
But, like, he has one particular fight scene that I think... Yeah.
When they let him have fun... he shines. Like, he's so talented. Very, very talented.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed his performance. The performances are strong all across the board. I don't think there's one performance that I didn't like.
Yeah, and, like, there's even kids in this movie, and, like, they do well.
Very good child actors. I will say props to the children. See if you can find their names.
Brooklynn Prince, best known for the Florida Project.
Okay.
Which I haven't seen, but I've heard nothing but acclaim for that film when it came out. The boy, Henry, I truly don't know anything about him.
Convery.
I don't know anything about him, but he was good.
Well, I didn't expect the kids to have so many scenes alone in this movie, but the scenes that they did have, they were really good. And you always run the risk of having child actors who aren't really good and can't sell comedy.
Yeah.
But they were very funny and they had very good timing. So
yeah, and I think they were fairly realistically written.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't like, oh, these dopey, like, oh, like cocaine, what's that? Like, no, like they were written how, like, they were basically preteens. So they were written pretty realistically.
Yeah. This movie has a lot going. This movie is like doing cocaine, because there's a lot. Not that I've ever done it, so I don't really know. Like what. So never mind. I don't know. I guess in my mind, it's like it's what the movies make it out to be. It's because it's so fast paced and erratic, and you're constantly shifting storylines.
Yeah,
you're moving. You're juggling like 5 different storylines at one point.
Yeah,
and they all eventually converge onto each other.
Right, but speaking of that though, I think like we kind of talked about what we did like, which I think again mostly performances. And one of the things that I think like was a little bit weakened is the fact that like. We talk about the effects of cocaine, which, again, I also don't have experience with. But
we don't have enough experience.
But, again, if we're kind of talking about the bear itself and the bear that uses cocaine, like you said, I don't think it went as wild as I expected, because it really was more of the standard slasher than I thought it would be.
It felt like the tone at times felt like 2 different movies, because there were times where it felt like an 80s horror movie, like... Yeah. Like, it's very, like, campy, like, jump scares and very aggressive and gory at times.
Oh god, like and that I will give them credit for is with some of the injuries and kills they actually get kind of creative with.
Yeah, so it definitely feels like an old school 80s very gory monster slasher movie.
Oh yeah, if you're squeamish, you will not like this movie.
Yeah. And then at times it did feel like that funny it's so horror comedy that they advertised.
It's ridiculous. It's like, whoa, a bear on cocaine? Like what's that gonna be like?
Yeah, there are some really funny moments in this movie.
There's one scene in particular that is probably my favorite in the movie where we see that and it's like, okay, this is like what I wanted to happen.
I know exactly what scene you're talking about, and I agree. It's the best scene in the movie.
Yeah.
And it's what I would have wanted the whole movie to be if I had my way.
Or at least more of it.
Yeah, more of it.
Because by all means, like, yeah, it is still a horror movie. It's a bear killing people. I was totally expecting that much. But in terms of like the balance, I think it was more heavier on the horror and the kills and the slasher aspect than the meminess we were expecting.
Yeah, overall, I think, I mean, guys, there's not much else to talk about without spoiling anything, so I think we'll just wrap it up here and give our general, like, thoughts, what we thought of the film.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, I thought it would, like, listen, if you're looking for a good time at the movies, if you want to just go to a movie and turn your brain off and watch a movie for an hour and a half, this is your movie.
Yeah.
Go, enjoy it. If you like horror movies, check it out. It's a very fun monster movie. There's a lot of jump scares, a lot of horror homages in it. If you like stupid horror movies, this is even better. Like, if you like memes, you'll enjoy parts of this movie as well. I give it a solid 3.5 out of 5.
Wow, that's generous.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and the actors in this and the meme quality are high to the point where I feel comfortable giving it slightly above mid.
All right, that's totally fair, because I think that was also the word you and I were kind of like dabbling with was mid. And for me, I think that's pretty accurate to how I feel about it. It's not a bad movie by any means. It's totally competently made, strong performances. Like, if you're into slashers, it's very strong, that aspect. For me, though, it's not funny enough for me to hone in on the comedy aspect.
Yeah, and you're also not a horror fan like I am.
I like horror. Like, there's a lot of horror films I do like, but with the expectation I had, which maybe that's my own fault, but it wasn't as funny, and there were times where I felt like they were trying to be funny and just didn't land.
I think your expectations were off, because when we sat down and we watched the trailer for Evil Dead, and you started squirming in your chair, I said, "You do know what movie we're about to watch, right?"
To be fair, now having seen Cocaine Bear, that was nothing in that was on the same level.
Because you covered your eyes, you missed a lot of the gorier stuff because you were shielding your vision.
Anyway. Okay, so it was possibly an expectation part, but there were parts that I did feel like they were trying to be funny and the jokes didn't land as strongly. Again, not bad by any means, but I think just mid honestly probably describes it for me, and I don't know if the performance is elevated enough for it to be that memorable for me. So I lean closer to a 2.5 out of 5. Like, close, thought about 3, but I think it's like smack dab in the middle.
All right, and that is our review of Cocaine Bear. Snorting its way to a theater near you this weekend. If you're interested, go check it out. I think it's a solid time at the movies. You should have fun with it no matter what.
Yeah, I don't think like you'll hate like your time there, or like you'll feel like you wasted it.
If you liked the video, give it a huge thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and notification bell, because we have tons of content coming your way all the time. And until next time, guys, stay versed.